There we are. Okay, so before we get to today's session, if you guys can just help me out and let me know in the chat box there how that audio's coming across for you. Are you able to hear me loud and clear? Let me know, yay or nay, in the chat box. Make sure that I'm not just having a conversation with myself here for the next hour or so. So again, just let me know in the chat box if you are able to hear me loud and clear. Okay, there we go. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Testing, testing. I'm not getting any feedback here, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or not. Please let me know in the chat box at the top right corner of your screen if that audio is coming through loud and clear for you. All right. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. Now it's coming over. All right, good, good, good. Okay, fantastic. All right, folks. So we're going to just do a quick tad bit of housekeeping here. So just a quick reminder, if this is your first time joining us on one of our live training sessions, the way that this moves is first off, it's not a pre-planned session as far as scripting and sitting here with specific things to chat with you about. Rather, these are live sessions where your feedback really helps dictate what direction we go in. Yes, we do have the slides, but we also exit the slides from time to time to show and demonstrate and really dig down deep on some of these strategies. So your feedback is what really helps dictate what direction we go in. So again, if this is one of your first times joining us, I like the word boom. So really what that means is as we're going through the session, just type the word boom into the chat box if we're covering something that really either you like what we're saying or you feel like what we're sharing with you is particularly helpful. Just type the word boom in the chat box. And the reason for this is because as a bunch of comments are coming over, the letters BOOM really stand out. When I see a bunch of those coming over, I know, hey, you guys like what we're talking about, so I'll spend a little bit of extra time on that, right? So very, very helpful to keep me going in the right direction and for you guys to learn more on a specific topic. Also, I will share with you that questions are definitely welcome. So any questions at all, feel free to type those into the chat box. Because we do get to as many questions as humanly possible, okay? So that interaction, again, helps other listeners as well. And we tend to open up at the end for a Q&A session. But in the meantime, I do get to as many of them that are on topic and relevant to the slide that we might be sharing or the strategy that we're sharing at that moment. All right? So with that said, let's go ahead and kick this off. So give you about 20 seconds here. And we're ready to rock and roll, guys. Okay. All right. We're ready to rock and roll. So the first thing, let me just update your screen for you and make sure that you're not frozen here. There we go. Perfect. So yes, we will be talking about video today, folks. Now, we're going to be covering video from a slightly different angle from what you may be used to. What I mean by that is we're going to be talking primarily about video as lead capture. So in other words, yes, oftentimes we talk about video as an SEO tool, or we might talk about video in the form of follow-up with your CRM, with email blasts, all that fun stuff. And yes, we will touch on a little bit on that here today, but our primary focus is on a complete video lead funnel, which means that we are leveraging video to actually capture the leads up front. And the challenge for a lot of people is that when they hear the words video, they often think of just how difficult it is. We have this image or perception that video equals challenging, video equals difficult. But I submit to you guys that this is actually one of the reasons why you want to do video more than ever before because your competition is also viewing it as difficult. And that means it's one of the few marketing strategies out there that is very difficult to copy, right? Because I could teach you guys the best ads to run. I could teach you the best website to build or landing page to build, but really it's not difficult to knock those types of things off, right? It's not difficult, it's not expensive. But one thing that it is difficult to do is for individuals to copy you when you're the one appearing in the video, or even if you're using a stand-in or an animation, it's not quite so simple, right? A lot of people have a big hesitation towards using video. So let me just kind of submit to you guys Exhibit A. So I did catch some flack from my email. So half of you guys that are here in the session today probably saw, or a little bit less than half of you here today saw this here on the left-hand side of the screen. When you clicked either on my ad or on my email or on one of my posts or on one of my articles, you probably saw this landing page here. Now, about roughly 60% of you guys saw this here on the right-hand side. So the reason for this is because I know a lot of you guys were sending me emails saying, well, it's kind of weird, you know, if you're going to be teaching video that you sent us to a page without video. Well, what we did was a split test because I wanted to show you guys live the difference that video can make in your marketing. So it's literally 50-50. So 50% of my marketing went to this page and exactly 50% went to this page. 42% of the individuals that landed on this page converted. 59% of the people that landed on this page converted. Now, that might not seem like a huge difference right off the bat, but if we really want to see how that compounds over time, you know, especially if you guys are running ads, if you're running Facebook ads or Google ads, Yahoo, Bing. So for about 100 visits, we got 42 leads captured on the left-hand side. We got 59 leads captured on the video. Okay. So that compounds over time. 200 visits, I'm going to get 118 leads. With the video, I'm only going to get 84 leads with the non-video landing page. And I strung that out to about 500 visits. So that equals 210 leads for the left-hand side for the non-video landing page and 295 leads for the landing page with the video. So that's 85 more leads for the exact same sales message, for the exact same session, for the exact same form of marketing. Everything else was identical. The only thing that was different is that one was textual based and one was video based. So 85 more leads. Now, the benefits don't just stop there, okay? Because as you well know, if you've been to many of my sessions in the past on the way PPC works, pay-per-click style marketing or advertising, how much you're charged on a cost per click type advertisement is directly linked to what's called your click-through rate. So the higher percentage of people clicking, the less you're going to be charged. So because of the higher click-through rate for the video, not only did I capture 85 more leads for the exact same marketing, I also paid 19 cents less cost per click. And again, I know that might not sound impressive right out of the gate until you start factoring in that it's easy to get over 1,000 clicks or more in a single week. On a monthly basis, how many clicks do you get on your ads? So when we start getting into the thousands, guys, multiply 1,000 times 19 cents. It adds up very quickly. We're saving hundreds of dollars. We're spending hundreds of dollars less, capturing more leads, and the leads tend to be higher quality. Now, I can't speak to this specific campaign because it's not over yet, right? Right smack in the middle of it. However, I can speak to the averages of previous campaigns that I've worked on with loan officers across the U.S. and actually in 5 other countries as well. And we tend to see about at least double digits minimum lift in conversion rate, higher conversion rate. So we're hitting double digit improvement in conversion rate. We're paying less cost per click. We're getting more volume. Wouldn't we be absolutely nuts to ignore something like that with the power to just give that big of a boost on so many levels? It makes literally every single aspect of the marketing better because we're engaging more with the prospects. So let me hear from you guys here today. Let me know in the chat box. How many of you are actually using video in your marketing currently? And how many of you guys have been thinking about it but haven't quite gotten started yet? Just go ahead and let me know in the chat box, if you will, so I can just kind of take the temperature of where you guys stand, as far as using video as a lead generation tool. So just go ahead and let me know in the chat box, if you will. So I'm going to just keep on chatting while you guys are leaving those comments. Now, actually, let me just kind of dial back here, though, because it looks like my screen leapt forward just a little bit there. There we are. I'm going to show you guys some pretty impressive numbers here. So let's take a look at some of these statistics here. So when we talk about video, I want you guys to keep these statistics in mind. So first off, YouTube reports that mobile video consumption has been rising by 100% every single year. So I put my sources here for each one of these statistics. 55% of people, 55% of the population, so that's over half of individuals, are watching videos online every single day. 92% of mobile video consumers share videos with others. 90% of users say that product videos are helpful in their decision-making process. So that means these people are actually using videos to help them make decisions on when they buy something or not. So if that applies to just everyday products, how much more relevant do you think that is for a, comparatively speaking, humongous purchase, right? Because a mortgage is, or at least tends to be, the largest investment that most people will make, right, in their lifetimes. If not the most, it'll at least be in their top 2 or 3. So they're going to make use of video in helping to make that decision. So we already see that 90% of individuals are. Social video generates 1,200% more shares than both text and images combined. So we're not talking in just text or just images. We're talking about even if you combine the shares of text and image-based posts on social media, videos generating 1,200% more shares. And wow, I mean, how can we ignore that? Video posts on Facebook have 135% greater organic reach than photo posts. And now we know that the same also holds true with Google and YouTube, that content that contains a video, especially one that's been posted on YouTube, has a much higher, much higher. In fact, depending on where you get your statistics, you'll see the ranges from anywhere from 300 to 600%. So you get 300 to 600% more likely to make it to the front page at Google with a video embedded on the page than one without, just a text-based. So that's incredibly powerful. So I'm going to speed up through these so we can get to our content here, guys. Companies using video enjoy 41% more web traffic from search, so that's SEO benefits. People spend 3 times longer watching a live social video compared to one that's been pre-recorded. So that means live streaming video is even more powerful than just regular pre-recorded video. Video in an email leads to 200 to 300% increase in click-through rate. So that's 2 to 3 times as many people clicking on your content when you have a video in your email. So those of you that like BombBomb, for example, boom, here's a statistic to back up that you're making the right decision. After watching a video, 64% of users are more likely to buy a product online. Conversion rate increases by 80% when you're including video on a landing page. And again, this right here just talks about the enormous impact of video as a whole. So my point being, guys, is there's really little doubt that we need to be using video in our marketing. And I'm going to address some of the hang-ups as far as why so many individuals are hesitant to use video, and show you guys some really simple, cost-effective, and in many cases free ways that you can incorporate video, even if you don't want to appear in your own video. I'll show you some free alternatives or some alternatives where you don't have to be the one in front of the camera. Okay, so when we're talking about video funnels, we're not talking about just one type of funnel. We're talking about lead capture funnels, which tends to be, this is the one that most individuals think of when we talk about lead capture. They tend to just think of your basic lead capture funnel. But it's important to note that you have lots of other types of funnels that you should be, and this isn't just in regards to video, this is just in regards to your funnels in general. But you should have more than one type of funnel out there. You should have a follow-up, a lead nurture funnel. You should have an app taken funnel that's separate, because we don't want to market to people who have taken an application with us in the same fashion as we would when we're just following up with someone, nurturing them, trying to get them to that level. We need to have completely separate segments to our funnels to allow for those differences. A cold reconnect funnel. This is for when you guys either buy leads or generate leads or whatever the case may be, however you're getting your leads. What happens to the individuals that just kind of fall off the edge of the earth? You know, the kind of people I'm talking about, right? These are the individuals that might have filled out a lead capture form and they might even talk to you initially, but then they just kind of vanish, disappear, right? What do you do with those? Well, a cold reconnect funnel is a funnel that's specifically designed to get them to either pick up the phone, click on something, or click reply and at least engage with you. It gets them to engage again and brings them away from being cold back into that warm lead process, into that warm lead status, because they're engaging with you. So that's a very important part of your marketing, because how often does that happen? And it's easy to just ignore the individuals that have gone cold, but the bottom line is, at the end of the day, oftentimes there are reasons why these individuals go cold and they end up buying with somebody. So there's a problem there. There's some sort of a disconnect. There's a reason why they went cold. Then we need to find out what that reason is. And then we need to have our niche specific funnels. And that's FHA, VA, refinance, reverse, whatever type of product you might be focusing on. Right at that point that you learn what somebody's looking for, we need to get hyper specific with them and shift into that relevant mode, where we're sending them content that's specific to the type of loan that they are looking for. So we're not treating them just like everyone else. Okay. Now, when we think of funnels, oftentimes we're thinking of emails, maybe text messages, blog posts, sending links to articles, content on social media, links to testimonials. You might invite them to your calendar to schedule an appointment. You might send them tips, and those tips can even be sent by video. And then our behavior-based segmentation. So this is really when we talk about funnels, these are the elements at work here that a lot of people are thinking about. But really, our focus today is going to be specifically on video, of course, right? And how we can use it to not just get more leads, but actually get better leads all around. And a good starting point for that is for us to actually take a look at what a typical, when I say typical, I mean a very, very, very basic lead funnel tends to look like. So what we have here is a mind map that kind of walks you through the processes of a basic funnel. Now, my actual funnels tend to be a lot more involved than this. So again, this is a super basic funnel, but the bottom line is that you can use this as a great, great starting point if you're not using funnels currently to kick things off and then bolt on more advanced strategies as you go along. But let's kind of follow this through the process and see what we're looking at here. Okay. So at the beginning of the funnel, the first thing that we have to do is generate a click, right? So let's say that, for example, I'm utilizing videos and I'm running those videos as ads on YouTube, for example. So once somebody views my video, what do I want to happen? Well, I want them to click. When they click to view more or get more information about what it is I'm talking about, that's my very first step. That's what drops them into my funnel, because several things happen once they click. The first and most important thing that happens when they click is I activate a cookie, a tracking cookie. I don't just have one cookie out there. I have multiple cookies. So as you can see here, when I trigger a cookie, I have cookie A, cookie B, cookie C, and so forth. And basically the importance and the reason for having different tracking cookies is I have different cookies attached to different forms of marketing, different forms of media, and different forms of mortgage products and calls to action. So let's say I have a couple different ads out there, one that's for just general home purchase, and then I might have a separate ad out there for debt consolidation refinance. I might have another one out there for FHA or VA loans, okay? I'm not going to treat these people as if they're all the same. So the smartest thing I can do is drop them into different buckets. So different cookies fire for different purposes. So let's pretend this one here is general purchase. This one's my refinance, and this one's FHA VA. And I'm going to drop them into different retargeting custom audiences. So I'm going to stream this data directly from, again, we're using YouTube as my example here, just because that's a killer platform right now. So I'm going to stream and feed that data away from YouTube straight to other PPC platforms I might have out there, such as Facebook, Google, Yahoo, or Bing. Okay, so let's look at what just happened right here. In the amount of time it takes me to blink my eye, a fraction of a second, I've triggered a cookie. I've pushed those individuals, I've segmented them off into the appropriate bucket, and then I've shot that information off to, let's say, Facebook, for example, as a custom audience. So now, instead of having to run ads on Facebook using very, very weak, crappy filters by comparison, because Facebook took away a lot of our targeting parameters in 2018, we have much fewer options on how to target our leads. But I don't really care about that right now because I have far, far, far superior targeting capabilities on YouTube. So I use YouTube to generate a super cheap click that'll probably cost me about a penny, maybe 2 pennies, in comparison to paying about $1 or more per click in many niches within Facebook, or $15, $20 to $40 or more if I was running ads on Google. I'm paying 2 pennies, guys, 1 to 2 pennies. So that allows me to build my custom target audience on Facebook for pennies on the dollar, quite literally. Very powerful. So once that click takes place, and these things are happening all in the background within a split second, the lead is instantly shot over to a landing page. Now, this landing page could take the form of a questionnaire. It could take the form of a mini quiz. It could take the form of a lead magnet. There's lots of different things that I can put in front of them. But the bottom line is this is my first opportunity to capture a lead. Now, when we're looking at building a funnel, we need to put them through what we call an if this, then that type process, or I just call it the yes, no process for most of you. Okay, so basically when I'm building my funnel, I have to ask myself at each major step, I have to ask myself, did my desired action actually convert? So what's my desired action when somebody hits a landing page? Well, I want them to give me their information, right? Without their information, I don't have a lead. So did they give me their information, yes or no? If the answer is no, then boom, they get shunted off here into a different segment. So I'm going to activate a retargeting or piece of my funnel that's behavior based. So in other words, they're going to go right into a specific follow-up sequence that I'm going to retarget them, most likely on Facebook using custom audiences or something similar, right? So I can still market to them even if I don't get their information, because of the fact that I've activated a cookie. I get a second swing at bat. I get a third swing at bat, a fourth, fifth, and sixth, because I can just rerun ads to them and figure out what went wrong. Why did I not capture their information? Usually it's just because I reached them too early. So they're not quite that desperate yet to give a loan officer their contact information. But that's okay, because sooner or later they will be ready, and I'm going to be in the right place at the right time because I have them in my custom audiences. Now, if the answer is yes, and they do take action and they fill out my initial landing page, now I got their data, but boom, they're going to be shunted off into a completely separate segment where I'm going to activate a conversion funnel. Again, that's behavior based, and they're going to start receiving my follow-up marketing. So that could be everything from email to SMS, phone calls, all that fun stuff. But what's also going to happen is they're going to be immediately forwarded to my calendar, and at which point they're going to be faced with my appointment scheduler, which is synced with my Google Calendar, so that way I can track, what my day-to-day activities look like, and an explainer video. That explainer video is going to explain to them why it's so important that they actually talk to a loan officer. Because if I were to just send them over to a page that says, hey, yeah, schedule an appointment with us, here's how you do it, my conversion rate is probably going to be somewhere around 1%. So that means I'm going to lose out on 99% of the opportunities. That's not good. But if I instead greet them with a powerful video, an engaging video that tells them, here's why it's so darn important that you as a potential home buyer speak to us on the phone, bare minimum. I'm going to talk to them about what happens if they've been relying on their own personal credit pulls to monitor what's going on with their credit. And hey, most likely your information is nowhere near as detailed as what an underwriter sees. So there could very well be errors and mistakes. In fact, statistically speaking, you're more likely to have mistakes on your credit than not. And those need to be fixed before you reach that point where you need a lender letter before you find that perfect home, right? So I'm going to talk to them about those sorts of things and get them to schedule an appointment. So again, we reach a yes/no segment. Did they schedule the appointment? Yes or no? And based on that answer, again, I'm going to shunt them off into a different direction when it's a yes versus a no. So I'm going to activate a conversion funnel again that's behavior based. And boom, this is how a funnel works, guys. It's a series of logic, but it's also a combination of a series of logic, but a series of opportunities, repeated opportunities over time to move your prospects forward in the funnel and to wow and impress them. That's how we should be viewing this. So let's actually get a little more granular here and talk about basic funnel bolt-ons. So let's pretend that we're just zooming in on one of those yes or no answers and see what happens after the fact. So after somebody, for example, gets dumped into a specific bucket of my funnel, the first thing that happens is an email gets triggered, and then quite literally within a matter of seconds, a text message gets triggered. And then roughly about maybe 5 to 8 minutes after that, a phone call is triggered. I don't want my phone call taking place at the exact same time that these other two activities happen. That's just not a good look. But within that first 5 to 7 minutes, I'm actually on the phone calling these individuals. So let's pause here and ask you guys, how long does it typically take you to follow up with a lead? And this doesn't mean just video leads. I mean any lead period, whether you bought leads or whether you self-generated or whether you're getting referrals from realtors. How long do you wait to follow up on a lead? Let's see what the average is. And I asked this question for a very good reason. I'll explain in just a moment. Okay, so it looks like, so it could be anywhere from 1 minute to hours. Okay, so here it says 15 to 20 minutes. So I got a 30 minutes there. I got a I think that's a 4 to 8 minutes, Drew. So that's 4.8. Either you're super precise or that means 4 to 8 minutes. Okay. Okay, I got this one here says hours. Okay, so 4 to 8 minutes. Okay, good. I got a couple more that are about 20 minutes, and then okay, here's another one that's in the hours range. So let me explain why I'm asking this question. Is 9 times out of 10, when I hear a loan officer or a real estate agent complain that the quality of their leads just isn't there, 9 times out of 10, the problem is the follow-up time. Statistically speaking, every additional 10 to 15 minutes that you go beyond that first 10 minutes to call, the percentage and the likelihood of you actually ever even speaking to that person, ever even hearing their voice, drops significantly. We're not talking just a 2, 3, 4, 5%. We're talking 15, 20, and 30% drops. Huge drops in the likelihood that you'll even ever get to chat with that person. The ideal time frame, is it's got to be within that first 10 minutes, guys, for maximum conversion. It just has to be. Huge difference. Otherwise, we end up with this perception that, man, these leads just aren't interested. Man, this sucks. These guys really just don't care to talk to me. They're probably just tire kickers anyways. When the reality is just that people move on with their lives. If they don't hear from you right away, if you don't reach them while it's still top of mind, while their finger is still on the mouse, the likelihood that we'll connect with them just drops. It's that simple. So we got to trigger that phone call right away. If you're unable to, because I understand that you guys get busy. I understand, being a loan officer, you got a million different hats to wear. So there has to be some sort of mechanism put in place to make sure a phone call happens, whether it's you or whether it's a telemarketer or an assistant that you hired. It's somebody's got to be picking up that phone and calling them if you really want to make the most of your conversion rate. Okay. So whether or not they answered, so we got, again, another yes, no opportunity. No, I'm going to activate conversion funnel number 3. If the answer is yes, I'm going to activate conversion funnel number 2. So I have 2 completely different funnels that I can plug them into based on whether or not they picked up the phone. So what do you think happens in these other conversion funnels? What is the difference between, if somebody says yes or no, how am I going to change the way I market to them? Because I'm going to be using things like voice drops. I'm not just using email. I'm not just using text messages, and I'm not just using phone calls, and I'm not just using voice drops. I'm also going to use Facebook, guys, because with Facebook Messenger, when a Facebook Messenger bot reaches out to them, when I can reach them right there on their chat app, because we know that the overwhelming majority of individuals in this country are on the Facebook Messenger app every single day. Open rates tend to be over 90%. Email open rates have declined over the past 5 years. Chat applications, 91% average open rate. How can you beat that, guys? Do you think, yes or no, do you feel that if you could just get your message in front of more people, of these people who have actually requested more information from you, do you think that you might get more applications? Because oftentimes the challenge is that we're just playing a game of chase. It's like the most expensive form of hide and go seek ever. But if you could just get your message in front of them, you could convert more of them into applications. Because I know you're good salespeople, but your message isn't being heard. So if we use and plug into our funnel tools such as Facebook Messenger, plus a phone call, plus text messaging, plus email, plus voice drops, now we have a multifaceted, multi-pronged approach so that we're using all different forms of media. The likelihood that we're going to chat with that person just went through the roof. Okay? Does that make sense? Absolutely. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So let's just review here, recap. Why do you need multiple funnels? And by the way, guys, I'm going to be showing you some live video as well and giving you some examples. This isn't just theory here. I'm going to give you guys some really cool examples towards the end of today's call. So make sure that you stick around for that because we have some really, really cool stuff I'm going to be demonstrating for you. Okay. So why do you need multiple funnels? Well, number one, because high conversion rates will never be realized without niche specific plus behavior specific funnels or funnel segments. In other words, we absolutely need to be reaching out to these individuals in as relevant of a manner as possible. And just being quite frank with you, chances are high that you don't necessarily have a lead problem so much as you have a funnel problem, a 3 M's problem. Okay, I don't know how many of you folks listened in on the free training that we did a couple weeks ago. A partner of mine put out a 3-part training session for you folks. And he talked about what's called the 3 M's of lead generation. Now, the 3 M's stands for number 1, mission, number 2, message, and number 3, media. Now, if you can get this formula right, I guarantee you, I 100% guarantee you that you are going to absolutely crush your competition and you're going to close so many more loans than you are currently because very, very, very few individuals, and I'm not just talking loan officers, I mean people in any form of sales or marketing, period, have the 3 M's down packed. Most of them don't even realize that it exists. They've never used the formula. But what that formula stands for is mission, is that anytime you're looking at your marketing, I don't care whether it's just sending out an email, I don't care if it's a voice drop, a phone call, whatever, doesn't matter. You need to sit down and make sure that you understand the mission of this particular form of communication. Now, what do you think that means? Well, it means that most individuals, in this case specifically loan officers and realtors, they're sending out their marketing. They're sending out their, if you have a CRM and it has one of those pre-built follow-up lead nurture campaigns in it, have you ever actually taken the time to really look at and then follow the sequence of those emails and look for patterns? Because really one thing's going to jump out at you, and that's that it's completely random. It's completely random. It's as if they're throwing a whole bunch of content out there and just hoping, fingers crossed, that people are going to respond. I hope that I say something that makes them interested enough to pick up the phone and call me. But hope is not a strategy. That's not how a professional does it. You got to have a mission. Every time you send anything out or put anything in front of your prospect's eyes, there needs to be a mission behind it. And that mission may be, hey, the mission of this particular message is to engage them, get them to click, and get them to ultimately schedule an appointment with me. Whereas the mission of others might just be to keep my name top of mind and keep them relevant. So I'm going to have two completely different forms of communication and forms of content for those different missions. But if you're marketing, if each message does not have a mission, then what we're doing is flailing about in the dark. And I don't like flailing when it comes to marketing. It doesn't get you anywhere fast. You might get lucky once in a while, but again, luck is not a strategy. Now this is the really big one. Is number two is the message. Most loan officers have a very serious messaging problem. And most of them don't even realize it yet. But here's the problem, is that for most loan officers, most originators, you're so darn busy. You got so many different hats to wear out throughout the days. You're trying to master your marketing, but then you also got problems going on with the loan process and with the underwriters. We got appraisals going on. We got realtors to talk to. You got all these different duties. You have a lot more on your plate now than loan officers did 10, 15, 20 years ago, right? A lot more. So that means fewer and fewer individuals have taken the time to really craft their message. But really, what is the message? The message is a combination of not just what you say, but also how you are perceived by your market. And if they are not perceiving you as the go-to individual, if they're viewing a mortgage, because I have a lot of people say, well, mortgages are commodities. They're just commodities. Well, they're commodities if your messaging is not on point. Just look at what Rocket Mortgage did to the market over the past couple of years. Have you guys seen the reports of just how out of the enormous percentage of loans closed last year? What percentage of them were Rocket mortgages? I mean, talk about completely dominating the marketplace. Do you think they were having trouble with people treating them like commodities? No, people were tripping all over themselves because their message was on point. And what was the product? Anything special? Do you know how many emails and voicemails and phone calls I've gotten from people just completely complaining that, man, it's there's nothing special about it at all. This sucks. It's all they've done is they've learned how to spin. Well, you can call it spin, but the reality is they just, it's really, really good message. They found out what triggers people and makes them want to take action, because what's their big holdup? What's their big hang up? What's their big pain? If I were to ask you right now to pick up the phone and call me, or if I gave you control of this microphone and said, okay, now talk to all the loan officers on here and tell them why you're the obvious choice in your area, and we're all going to grade you on a scale of 1 to 10 on how good your message was. No time to think it over. Just boom. You've been a loan officer for all these years. Your message should be dialed in and on point, right? You should be able to just take over the microphone and give us a really convincing reason why you should be the go-to loan officer in your marketplace. But how many of us could actually do that and do it convincingly, do it not just well, but do it very well? If you can't, then what we have is a messaging problem. And then the third M is media. So a lot of us have a media problem as well. And that means media just means what platform are you using to get your message and your mission in front of individuals, in front of the prospects, the ideal individuals who need to hear from you? Are you using video? Are you using social media? Are you using blogging? Are you running ads? What form of media are you using to get in front of these individuals? Because again, we need to be tapping into the most powerful forms of media, and nothing beats video. Now, this is actually absolutely 100% scientific. This is not an opinion, but video is the number one highest engaging form of content you can create online. Nothing else beats it. Because when we look at the scientific tests that are performed on the human brain when viewing advertising, just reading text engages the least amount of emotion. and engages the least amount of the brain because we're not using all of our senses there. But when somebody can not just read, but can also hear you, now that we're tapping into our ears, our ability to hear, now they're even more engaged. But then we give them full video so they can see, they can hear, and they can connect and engage with you because you're looking at them, they're looking at you. It feels like they know you over time. If you watch enough videos of a particular person, even if you've never met that person, it's been scientifically proven that in your subconscious, it feels like it's activating the same areas of the brain as if you're meeting an old friend. How powerful is that? So if we tap into the proper media, we have the dialed in message, and each form of communication and advertising has the right mission. What do you think happens to your marketing then? Now you convert a heck of a lot more, you capture more leads, and you do it while spending less money and wasting less time. You get higher quality leads. But in this industry, so many individuals like to blame it on the leads and say, well, the leads just suck. But let me give you guys a real world example here. Now, you guys know when I ran my mortgage shop, I started off and really built things right out of the gate by working with realtors, right? I had a whole lot of realtors I put in my back pocket. But one of the strategies, this might age me a little bit, but we're talking late 90s, early 2000s. One of the strategies that I used was I targeted agents that were using call capture, because what I found was that, you guys remember, this is before everybody was putting homes on the web. What did you do when you wanted to shop for homes and look at homes? You would go to the store and grab those homes magazines, right? So we had the Realtor book or Homes magazine, the original Homes magazine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I would flip through them and I would see the agents using call capture hotlines, which are these 800 numbers with extensions dedicated to each property, where individuals could dial in, listen to an audio recording about the property, and then either press 1 to get some information faxed to them. It tells you about the era, right? And then press 2 to do this or do that or leave a message, and then press 0 to be hot transferred to that particular agent. So what I did was I said, wow, let's look at what's happening here. Look at the opportunity to get a whole lot of business in a very short period of time. Number one, the agents were spending a huge amount of money on these ads. Number two, what I quickly learned was when I would call these agents, I would ask them, hey, about how many leads are you getting per month? And what we found was that the average was somewhere around 250 to 300 leads per month. Was very typical for an agent running full page ads in these publications. To their call capture hotline, I would say, okay, well, how many of them do you actually talk to per month? And it was usually somewhere around 8 to 10. Say, wow, so you generated over 200 leads, but you only talked to 8 to 10 people. Do you mind if I ask what happened to the rest of the leads? And that would always get me dead silence. And the agents would just have to eventually explain, well, I just don't call back the people. If they're not pressing 0 to talk to me, then they're not a real lead. So, I just don't call them back. And say, wow, that's a huge waste. Hundreds of leads every month. That means thousands of leads for the year that just get flushed right down the toilet because they're not getting followed back up with. So the solution was, we would follow up with all the leads. We redirected the call capture lines. We just cloned so that we had dual notifications, one to the realtor and one to me and my staff and my assistants. And eventually I would hire telemarketers to take care of these phone calls. But what we found was that after following up with every single lead, we started checking back in at 90-day interval, at 120 days, and then at 6 months. And what we found was that out of the people we talked to, now that's the important piece of information here, is that out of the people that we actually talked to, nearly half of those individuals actually bought. They bought something, they did something, they took some sort of action. I'm not saying nearly half of all the leads, but I'm saying nearly half of all the people that we actually were able to get on the phone. These are literally dozens and dozens of individuals each month that ended up buying, that just got flushed right down the toilet because the agents were blaming the prospects, essentially just going, well, they were crappy leads. They weren't interested because they didn't press 0 to talk to me, when in reality, they bought with somebody. Why? Why did they buy with someone and not you? See, that's the real core message that we have to look at here with our funnels, is that if they're buying with somebody and that person is not you, then we have a messaging problem. We have a follow-up problem. We have a funnel problem. So why were they ending up in other people's pipelines, right? That's a question we have to ask, and it's a question we're going to answer here. We're going to be giving you guys some sample videos here in just a moment, but let's just recap why video is mandatory. Video is mandatory in your funnels these days because more people will watch video. Like I showed you in those statistics at the beginning, more people will watch video. Almost 3 times as many people will watch something rather than read it. The average person listens to more of your message, so they listen longer, so they hear more of what you have to say. More emotions are triggered than if we just send them text-based content. And you're remembered for a much longer period of time, right? Because it's a higher engagement level. So, and then as we mentioned in the beginning, the competition, they can't copy you as easily, can they? Pretty crazy, huh? I mean, we're giving them you're putting out marketing that just on all levels it rises to the next level what you're doing. So what kind of videos can should we be putting out there? Well, we could be running videos that are designed to get attention. We could be running videos that are designed to engage, to build rapport, to capture leads, to convert leads, to inform and educate. We have some videos that are going to help the prospect make decisions, such as explainer type videos. Some videos we send out there to get referrals. So imagine sending videos out there asking people for recommendations, to recommend you to their friends and family. And then also utilizing video to rank well, because as we saw again in the early statistics, you get better search engine rankings. And we can do that. We have five primary types of videos out there. Number one is you could be doing a presenter video. Oops, my apologies. It skipped that slide there. Let me just circle back to the 5 types. There we go. Okay, so the 5 types. So number 1 is a presenter. That's where you're the one that's showing up right in front of the camera and you're chatting with your prospects. Number 2 is a spokesperson. So let's say that you don't necessarily want to appear in the video, but you still want a person there for engagement reasons. Well, in that case, you can actually hire somebody to step in for you as a spokesperson, or you can just bring somebody, some sort of a business partner in. We also have whiteboard explainer style videos. Those are like the moving hands, right? That look like they're drawing on that whiteboard. You have animated explainer videos. Those work quite well. They're similar to the whiteboard, but they're traditional animations as opposed to the drawing hand. And then you also have the easiest type of video to create in the world. That's slideshow videos, where all you need is standard pictures and you set them to a background of music and then some specific messages that transitions from slide to slide. Those are super easy, super simple, and 100% free to create. So for those of you that just absolutely cannot appear in your videos, there's really no reason in the world why we can't do slideshow videos. Are they going to convert as well as presenter, spokesperson, or even the explainer videos? No, they won't. But you know what? It's still, even at that lower conversion rate as compared to the other videos, it's still a heck of a lot better than just plain vanilla text and still images, because it's animation and you could do a voiceover. So you're still engaging more of the senses and more of the emotions because of your voice. They're hearing you. They're hearing your emotion. They're hearing your motivation. They're hearing, that you genuinely care and you're trying to help these people, give them good information. Powerful. It's still much more powerful than text. So what could you be making with your videos? Well, first of all, call to action videos. Those are the types of videos where I'm going to tend to use them either as commercials to capture leads, or I'm going to put them somewhere in my pipeline or in my funnel to convert. Tutorials. So that's where I'm going to teach something, right? I'm going to show you how to. Whereas an explainer is going to explain information. A tutorial shows an how to, which can be 2 completely different things. Credit type videos where I talk to them about similar topics that aren't necessarily mortgage, but still very relevant to the world of mortgages. So that's talking about things like credit and real estate. So there's nothing wrong with talking about real estate, guys. Location specific updates. One of the most powerful things I've seen are loan officers that will just absolutely dive into their local market, doing videos where we talk about new restaurants that opened up, fun things to do this weekend, all the cool stuff that people want to hear about. And then we just sprinkle in sales messages maybe once or twice a week. But the bulk of the content we put out there have nothing to do with mortgage loans because people find that boring. But they identify with the city or the hometown or the village that they live in. So you're giving them good information and ideas and fun things to do and good food to eat and all that good stuff. It works, guys. It works like crazy. Sending them reminders, certain tasks, that need to take place. Happy birthdays and holiday wishes. So who's fooled by, Facebook happy birthday messages anymore. Not me. How about emails? Do you think that people genuinely believe that you took the time to craft and send them that email? Versus how many of them know it's just an automated machine sending them out because they probably got 50 others throughout the day, right? So imagine you sending out a video, mention them by name. Hey, John, Chad Weber here. I just saw that today's your birthday, and I really, really hope today's a special day and that you take the time to kick back, relax, and do something a little extra special for yourself. Blah, 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 blah. Just chat with them a little bit. It doesn't need to be long, 30, 40 seconds. Wish them a happy birthday. That's going to mean so much more. And I guarantee they're going to remember you a lot more so than a little email that anybody can send. It's because it's the perception of the personalization and how much effort you put into it, right? So congratulations. So maybe it's their 1 year anniversary for being in their new home. You're the one that helped them get into that home. So how appropriate is it for you to send them a video congratulating them and reminding them of a couple things, and then maybe even at that point asking them for a testimonial? Hey, would you mind going over to Google and here's a link below and blah blah blah. How many do you think you would get if you were to just sit down right now and go through your database and just ask yourself, what sort of video can I make to talk to this person about today, just for 30 seconds? And you were to actually send out just a handful a day, maybe 5 a day, 10 per day. At the end of the week, if you do 10 per day, at the end of the week, if you work a 5-day week, that's 50 people you reached out to. How many of those people do you think are going to respond? How many of those people do you think know somebody that's in the market and in a position to either A, send you a referral, or B, send you a testimonial, do your write-up for you either on Facebook, on Yelp, on Yahoo, Bing, on Google? Because guess what happens? When you get enough of those, you climb up the rankings, you get more leads. So there's video helping you get more leads yet again, right? Can I get some booms on that? Let me know. Do you think is that something that you feel like you could do that would actually get you more business? Just a 30-second to 40-second video sent out to people where you really make it count. You believe what you're saying, guys. Put emotion into it. Chat with them. Remind them maybe something funny happened when you closed on their loan. Maybe chuckle about that a little bit. There's so much that you can be doing. So that's something that doesn't cost you a penny that you can do right here, right now. Okay? So I strongly, strongly recommend that you do. So what tools does it take? We're going to get to the video here in just a moment, but let's first talk about the tools that you need to actually make good videos. Because that's something I hear very, very often are individuals saying, well, you know what, I just don't want to blow a bunch of money on the tools to make videos. But all you really need, guys, is a smartphone. Most decent videos that you see showing up on in ads on YouTube were shot on a smartphone, and then a decent video editor. Now I use Camtasia Studio. That tends to be a little bit pricey. It's about $2.99. But you can also use Mojave out there. It's like $40. It's not as powerful as Camtasia, but you know what? It allows you to do everything such as green screen. So that means you can actually cut out your background and make it look like you're somewhere else. So if you don't want to, let's say maybe you do business from your home and you don't want to send out videos that are showing clients that, well, you got a green screen there that'll make it look like you're in a different office or somewhere else. And it's built into this $40 piece of software. And that's not $40 a month. That's not $40 a year. That's $40 and you own it forever. There's even free video editors out there that I'll show you guys as well. But these two are fantastic. And Mojave's not as good as Camtasia, but it still does 90% of what it does. So for $40, if you're just trying to get your teeth, dip your toe in the water a bit, I would probably go for something like that first. You're going to need a branded YouTube channel. That doesn't cost you anything. You just need to go and set something up that's niche specific. A lapel mic. Let me show you. Let me give you an example. I'm going to go to Amazon here and show you just how cheap this is. I don't care what brand you buy. These are not affiliate links, by the way, guys. This is just me making recommendations and showing you what I've used. Okay, so whenever I'm actually shooting a quality video, you do not want to use the microphone, the built-in microphone into your phone. Look at this. This lapel mic, first of all, it's going to filter out background noise, and because it only works when it's super close to your mouth. So the background noise is not picked up. It comes with a dead cat filter, which means that you can be in the wind, and that's also going to filter out any popping from your P's, as you're speaking. And it comes with plugs that are good for smartphones, and then plugs for your desktop or your laptop. So you could plug it into no matter what you're using as a recording device or a handheld recorder. It has these jacks that'll plug into any of them. Okay, so it's got multiple plugs right here. See the dead cat filter over there on the right? That works perfect in high wind situations. It's got a super long cable, so you could be standing far away. So $22. I mean, who can't afford that to get quality sound, right? So your sound is going to be so much better using something like this, and it only costs you just a little over 20 bucks. Free shipping. And again, or you could just go in here and just type out lapel mic and find a different brand if you want, if something else. I don't care what you use, just use something because it's going to make you sound 100 times better than if you're just using the phone audio. Okay. All right. So some other tools that I use. So we got the lapel mic, a webcam. You can use a green screen. You could buy a green screen for about 30, 40 bucks. And again, that's something that you stand in front of so that the editing software can filter out the background and replace it with a stand-in background for you. I also use something called Use Loom. Check out this cool tool, guys. Check it out. Watch this. It's free, by the way. Watch Loom. I've chatted with a lot of you folks on Loom before. And really all it is, let me see if I can open it right here. Yep, here it is. All Loom is it's a extension for Google Chrome. And let me just close out of this here. Watch this. Okay, so up here in Google Chrome, let's say that I want to shoot out a video to a couple realtors that I need to market to and a couple prospects that maybe I just recently captured their leads and I want to send them some follow-ups. So all I do is I click this little button right here and it fires up my webcam. And then I click yes or no, whether or not I want the webcam. If I click no, it'll shut off the webcam and it'll just record whatever I do on my screen as well as my audio. Once I click record, it does a countdown, 3, 2, 1, boom, you're live, and it starts recording. Then when you're done, it spits this out. So here's one that I shot right before here, right before today's webinar. Recording my screen here, and with Loom, it will record everything that I do on my screen, and I've done videos all the way up until about 25, 30 minutes just fine. Okay, so as you can see, it recorded my screen and my audio, and it put a little picture of me in the lower left-hand corner because I clicked no on the webcam. Now, once I'm done, I can just click here to copy a link, and it will share. I can send that link to anybody, and they'll instantly see my video. Okay, or I could say, you know what? You notice at the beginning there was some background noise as I was picking up my microphone. So let's say I go, oh, that's crappy. I need to fix that. I just click trim, and it will let me just go, okay, let's cut off the first 5 seconds. Boom, it's gone. So it'll allow you to edit the video. I can even password protect the video and send it to specific individuals. I can share it to social media right down here. This is all free. So how cool is that you're now able to shoot off a link directly to individuals, and now you have a video message done, and it required almost no effort whatsoever. You just sit in front of your webcam or shut off the webcam and just talk to them. People love it. They absolutely love it. You get a much higher engagement rate. Or you could just use BombBomb, which is video email, which is a really cool piece of software as well. I don't care which one you use, just use something because it's a heck of a lot better than what's happening now for most individuals because it's more personalized. So ultimately, at the end of the day, guys, your website should really just be one big funnel, right? Your goal is to find the shortest path from, hey, I need a loan, to, yes, I feel comfortable enough to speak with you. You want them on the phone with you. You want them talking to you. But the challenge for most loan officers is they don't like being in front of the camera. They don't know what to say. They don't have the right equipment, or they think they don't. They don't know how to edit the video and make it look good, or they feel like they're going to run out of content and things to talk about, or they say there's not enough time to shoot the video, or they think, well, my topics are just going to be too boring because who finds mortgages interesting? Or they say, well, why shoot a good video if I don't have even a funnel or a landing page to send them to, or even a CRM afterwards? So do some of those complaints or challenges sound familiar? So let me give you guys an example now. So I've made you wait long enough. Let me give you an example of some really high converting video. We've been playing around with some nice video here recently. Very, very effective. So I'm just going to shoot over here and let's look at some of these follow-ups. I got these things blocking my screen here though. So let me get up here. So here's one where we're asking for a strategy session right here. So let's go ahead and tell me if you guys can hear this or let me make sure my audio is turned all the way up.
Hey there, this is Stefan Levinsky. I'm a certified mortgage planning specialist, and I'm encouraging you to spend 20 minutes with me on a mortgage strategy session. Now, what's that all about? Well, there's a lot of information and a lot of misinformation when it comes to the programs that are available and the products that are out there for mortgages. That means that you have a lot of different options. And it's really about knowing what questions to ask. Now, don't worry if you don't know all the right questions to ask, because I do. And I'll be asking all the right questions about you, your situation, your goals, what you're trying to get accomplished. That way I can help map out all the different.
Let me just pause right there and point out, what do you guys see on his shirt? What do you see on his shirt there? See this right here? It's that lapel mic. So that you can see how you don't have that echo effect and you don't have any of that where it sounds like you're 20 feet away from your microphone, where it's like you're standing in a massive room. That's kind of that talking in a soup can effect that you get. He's using a lapel mic, so you're getting very acceptable levels of audio here. You don't need to sound like you're in a $2 million studio. You just need to sound nice, crisp, and clear, which is what we're getting here. And this is even after the degradation that happens when the files are compressed, uploading to YouTube.
Options that you have, so that you can really carefully understand the pros and cons of each before you make a decision, before you get pre-qualified, and before you enter into a contract with real estate. Invest 20 minutes in yourself and your future. Book some time with me on my calendar. Just click at that button, and we will get started together. Now, I promise I will not be selling you anything. In fact, here's my promise. If at any point on the call you think that I'm trying to sell you anything, hang up. It's as simple as that. All right. I'm looking forward to helping you. I will see you on my calendar soon. Take care.
Okay, so that's just one video. So you can see here, how simple was that? Okay, there's no elaborate background. He's sitting in an office, right? He's using just basic equipment there, simple lapel microphone, and he's giving them a reason to talk to him. Let's look at another one here. And were you guys able to hear that okay? I know that it's probably a little choppy because of the fact that you're watching this through GoToWebinar, but okay. All right, so everything, okay, perfect. So let's look at another one. So this one here is an ad for a quiz. So this is when we're putting it more on the front end than that last one. That last one was on step 3 of the lead capture process. Here's one. Let's watch this.
Hey, before you look at another home, I have some important information to share with you. You know, there was a survey recently of people who had just purchased a home, and up to 80% of recent homebuyers stated that they have regrets about the decisions they made during the home buying process, even going so far as stating they wish they could redo the entire process. You know, most homebuyers surveyed shortly after closing on their home described the process as frustrating, confusing, stressful, and sometimes when they got to the closing table, things were not exactly as promised. Now, that may have happened to you in the past, or certainly know somebody that's happened to as well.
Okay, so let's pause here. So what just happened here? So the first thing he's done is, first of all, he got their attention. So let's paint the picture of what's just happened here. So when we run our ads, now this is really cool and super powerful, and I'm going to dig more into this here in just a moment. But when we run our ads up front, we specifically know if they've been shopping for a home or not. So imagine being able to show your ads only to individuals who are actively shopping for homes right here, right now. So they've clicked to actually watch something about a home for sale. And what were the first words that came out of his mouth? Hey, before you look at another home. So there's a pattern disrupt there that takes place. So he stops them, says, hey, before you do that. And now he taps into some pain here. He identifies some pain points by referencing this recent study where individuals actually stated they wish they could go back in time and redo the mortgage process after they bought their home. They were frustrated, they were irritated, and they felt like a lot of them actually said things changed from, what we were told versus what we saw at the closing table. Now, certainly this is enough to make somebody go, man, I really hope that doesn't happen to me. If you're looking to buy a home and you got to get a mortgage and you're hearing these statistics and being reminded that, yeah, you know what, I have heard people complain about that. I don't want that to happen to me. I'm going to hear what this guy has to say because maybe he's going to tell me how to avoid that. So very powerful.
What you really want to do is you want to make sure you have all of the options and all of the information up front tailored to your specific situation before you sign on the line and start it. So to help you out, we have created this no obligation mini quiz. You can click the link below, fill out some simple information, and
so now the video is interactive in that this is a clickable button. Now it's not on this because it's just a demo on our page, but in the live version, we're putting clickable hotspots within the videos themselves. So that's how we get them from the video to the landing page.
give you back the information that you need to know tailored to your specific information with no pressure, no obligation whatsoever. This way, you can be informed, ask the right questions, get the right information, have no pressure, and make sure that you are not making mistakes that can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. And as we all know.
Okay, so again, we're tapping into pain, and he's providing solutions. So the solution is that they need to click that button in order to take that mini quiz. So that mini quiz is how we're going to capture more information and data and move them forward in the sales process, right? Because now instead of just giving name, email, phone number, now we're asking them 10 additional questions. They're telling us what their time frame is, how much they're looking to spend on a home, how much money do they have to put down, what's their credit look like, etc. So do you think that we have a more qualified lead at this point than otherwise? There we go. My apologies. I saw that I had my volume was turned down a little bit on my microphone here, so I just turned it up. So hopefully it's not too loud. Okay, so now we have an example of a screen share style video. So this is for those of you that might not necessarily want to show up in your video. I'm going to show that to you guys here in just a little bit. But let me just scroll back over here right quick though. Make sure I got, okay, yes, there we go, perfect. Okay, folks, so really what we're looking at here is, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce you guys to the gentleman showing up in here is Stefan. So let me scroll back. There we are, okay, now we're back. So Stefan is basically the one giving us these demonstrations of just how simple a video can be. It doesn't need to be elaborate. You don't need a super fancy script, but what you do need is you need to be calm, collected, and professional in front of the camera. But again, we run into challenges of individuals with these roadblocks standing in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and chat with you guys about what we're doing to help make these problems go away for you. Now, don't worry. When we're done with this portion, I'm going to circle back and finish answering questions. And I'm going to show you guys more free tools. I'm going to talk to you more about lead generation as well. Okay, so let's talk about what we're doing to help loan officers with this, because you really have two options to get out there and start capturing leads and converting more into closed loans and taking more applications. And that's either keep going down the path you're going now, or what we just rolled out, literally fresh off the books here, guys, is what's called Level Up Academy. Okay, so what Level Up Academy is basically, instead of having a single coach, a single individual helping you out, building out your funnels and setting up your messaging, your mission, and your media, and actually getting really dialed in and good, so that you don't need a whole lot of leads to convert. Because what would happen if you could double your conversion rate? What would happen if you converted 2, 3, even 4 times as many leads, because your message was so on point and you're using videos that actually funnel individuals who are actively house hunting right into your pipeline? Well, the way that we do that is 2 coaches now. Stefan is a video and media expert after spending the last 10 plus years helping startups and large corporations fine-tune their messaging, and their ability to appear professional in video. Now he's back to helping loan officers as well. Stefan and I go way back. We've engaged in a lot of joint projects together. You know, he also was a loan officer. I ran my mortgage company. That's kind of how we met initially. But then he spent the last 10 years helping startups, you know, build their and polish their image and their media through video and voice. So Stefan takes care of the video components where he's actually providing you with scripts. And when you do record, he's actually giving you professional instant feedback and critiques telling you, okay, now do it this way, change this, maybe the lighting here, the lighting there. It's those little things that your competition doesn't know about that's going to make people look at your video and go, wow. Whereas they look at the competition and go, not so much. So while he's focused on that, I'm helping you with the actual funnels and the technical side of things, setting up the strategy, planning the strategy, your automations, you know, how to run the ads, where to run the ads. So you have two coaches, two people looking out for you now instead of just one. So we build out the exact ad campaigns using two platforms. Now let's discuss those two platforms, okay? I mentioned YouTube earlier. Why do you keep hearing me talk about YouTube lately? Well, it's because we now have the capability on YouTube to use the same filters that we would on Google AdWords. So in other words, we have the same capability as guys that are paying $40, $50, $60 cost per click, or we're paying 2 cents. I mean, it's crazy, guys. Think about it. Here's what we can do. Imagine this. Imagine telling YouTube, okay, YouTube, I want you to show my ads only to individuals who have recently gone to these 3 websites, realtor.com, trulia.com, and zillow.com. So now YouTube will only show your ads to individuals who just left those websites. Think about that. How powerful is that? So that sample video where I showed you where he says, oh, hey, before you look at another home, now you can make the most incredible pattern disrupt videos because you know exactly what that person was up to or even what they're looking at right here, right now. So I can even tell, let's go a step further and I can tell YouTube, okay, only show people this particular ad when they're actually watching a video on homes for sale. Or how about somebody that's reading about credit? How about somebody that's reading about the differences between an FHA loan and a traditional loan? What about somebody who's watching a video on VA home loans? Now I show them something specifically on VA home loans. Somebody watching information about how to consolidate debt. Somebody going through a divorce. What do I do about the equity? How do I access the equity in my property, in my home? Think about all the niches that you could tap into with hyper-specific messages where you have a pattern disrupt, just like what Stefan demonstrated, that makes people stop and listen to what you have to say. And because of the fact that you're targeting their specific behavior, your conversion rate's going to be through the roof. Now, we don't have to just focus on real estate websites. Let's say Rocket Mortgages. Quicken Loans, Bankrate.com. You know, what are the biggest lead generating companies out there that spend millions of dollars a month on their traffic? Well, we know that those individuals are huge lead generators. So I want to make sure that I tap into, they're the ones spending millions of dollars per month on their advertising, but I'm going to be the one that benefits because I can tell YouTube, show my ads to people who recently went there. They did the work to generate the initial click. Now I could use the in-market data, that tracking cookie through YouTube and get in front of them as well. But this time I'm going to be the one that's focused on being the more hometown individual, the more obvious choice, because I'm the guy that cares. I'm not some big faceless organization. I'm the loan officer that's, you know, just 3 miles down the road from you that you could call up and schedule an appointment to meet me later this afternoon, and I'm going to answer your questions for you. Think about the positioning possibilities when you know how to do this, because that's the first thing we're going to teach you guys is how to use this. YouTube is a huge platform and the cost is so much less than you're paying anywhere else for cost per click, pennies on the dollar. So instead of needing a budget of $1,000 to $1,500, $2,000 a month for your PPC, what happens when you get away with a budget of $200 a month cost per click? maybe 300 if you throw in Facebook. I can connect both YouTube and Facebook and use both of them as my lead generation platforms by funneling and directing the data from YouTube directly into custom audiences within Facebook and retarget them there. All of that's going to be taught to you. We're going to fix your messaging problem with personal reviews. We're going to make you show up better, sound better, and package yourself in such a way that you are sold so much easier than you are now, so your conversion rate goes through the roof. We're going to improve your entire platform all the way from lead generation to conversion. And it's not just upfront. We're going to give you exact scripts and help you with videos on follow-up as well, so that you can go back and target your entire database and pull more testimonials, more reviews, more referrals. In fact, check this out. Watch this. This is what makes me so excited about this. Let's go back over to this page. Just one second here. I'm flipping back over here. There we go. So we're back at levelupacademy.co.co. Go all the way down to the bottom here. We absolutely 100% guarantee the results of this program, folks. So everything that I just told you is guaranteed. That's how effective this is. If you're not capturing leads and getting results from the program, we're actually going to go in there and run your ads for you. We will actually do it for you. Make sure that there's absolutely no mistake, because that's how much confidence we have that this works. It's 100% guaranteed, folks. So it's spread out over an 8-week time period. We cover Facebook ad basics. We get to advanced Facebook ads. We get to YouTube, both advanced ads and basic, as well as with and without video. Believe it or not, you can actually run ads on YouTube without video as well. So for those of you that say, you know what, I like everything about this except for the fact that I don't want to be on video and or I just don't have time for that, well, there are ways to run ads without any video whatsoever. Now, I would still recommend that you run video, and I'm going to keep recommending that you run video. But if you just need to dip your toe in the water first to just start getting some results, it's still incredible filtering and targeting capabilities. And for how cheap those ads are, you'd still be crazy not to. Okay, so even if you decide to go the non-video route, it's still worth doing because it's so powerful. We're going to cover your funnels. That means lead automations. We break that out into 2 parts, part 1 and part 2, different modules. Retargeting, so that's your tracking pixels, optimizing and split testing. All of this is included, guys. And on top of that, the exact scripts to use, the exact the interaction and critiques coming directly from a video expert who's been doing this for over 10 years to a very, very high level and a very high standard. He had to work with these multi-million-dollar companies and help them craft their image and messaging. He's had some very big name clients. So this is the guy that's going to be helping you. How powerful is that? If you want to get better on every level with what you're doing, this is how you do it. Okay, 2 coaches, guys. So let me share that link here in the meantime. And any questions that you got here, folks, definitely go ahead and pop those into the chat box. But you're going to find the link. It's going to be showing up in the chat box here in about 5 seconds. Because here's the thing. What we say here is that only 20 individuals are allowed to participate. And we mean it. There's really only one way to participate. You cannot purchase this right now. The only thing that you can do is come in here and click this orange button that says, yes, I'm ready for it, and schedule an interview with us. That is literally the only way to even get the option to buy into this. And let me tell you why. It's because of the fact that we only have room for 20 individuals. We want to make sure that we're working only with individuals who are going to implement. Okay, so we chat with you first, one-on-one, to make sure it's a good fit. We do not offer it to everyone. We're very picky, very, very picky. It's because we want those testimonials. We want you implementing, because we know that when you implement, you're going to be blown out of the water. You're going to be so impressed and so excited. You're going to want to talk to everybody about it. because it will improve your closing rate. You will capture more leads. You will close more loans. But you got to apply, because we want to make sure we're working with folks who will actually do the work. It's worth that time. Imagine taking that. There's an old saying out there that says, and I'm probably going to botch it up a little bit, but I know it's somewhere along the lines of, if you spent all your time doing the things that you don't want to do, you would already have everything you wanted in life. Now, think about that. It's so true that we tend to avoid and make excuses for not doing the things that we know we need to do. We know that video converts. There's no doubt about it. 80% of all activity on the internet for this year is going to be video. 80%. Nothing else converts quite like video. But we don't do it because we don't know what to talk about. We don't feel comfortable. We might not like, maybe we dabbled with it before, but we didn't like the way we appeared. Whatever. It's Stefan's job to fix all of that for you. He is the messaging and video expert. He is the branding expert. He's going to show you what is needed and how to improve so that you do like the results, not just like, but love them. Or more importantly, that your prospects will love them. So once you no longer have that hesitation and you're able to just hammer out these ads and these videos, and your conversion rate goes through the roof, and you're capturing more leads because you're using YouTube like a pro. Remember what I mentioned earlier today? It's really easy, especially Facebook passed a new capability where all your competitors can just click a simple little link on Facebook and see every ad you've ever run and copy it. I mean, it's that simple. They can copy almost anything that you can do to generate leads. The one thing that they cannot copy is you. And the one thing that most people are unwilling to do is video, because they think it's hard. So that's all the more reason why you should be doing it, because now they cannot. They can't keep up. Very, very exciting. So again, that link is levelupacademy.co. And we already have 7 slots taken. So actually, I know it says 20 slots, but we're actually down to 13 already. So we have 13 slots available. And no, that's not a gimmick, guys. That's not something where we're going to say, let's just make an exception and do 25. Let's just do 30. No, actually, we're very strict on the 20 because of these one-on-one reviews. We only have a certain amount of time to engage and deliver. So if we go over 20, the service is going to suffer. And because of the fact that we're guaranteeing results, and that's another reason why we do the interviews with you first, is because the only way I can guarantee results is if I know that I'm working with people who are doers, who are going to pull the trigger, and who are going to do what we show them and tell them. That's how we can guarantee the results. And if you decide, hey, I like the marketing aspect of it, but I don't necessarily want to appear in my videos, that's fine too. Then we will show you how to create other types of videos, or even image-based ads, but you market them on a video platform. I would still recommend you do video, but if not, there are other options. Okay. But our goal is ultimately to get you to the point where you love video, where it becomes the best thing that's ever happened to your business because you're converting like never before. Okay, fantastic. So I see some questions coming over. Okay, so it's 8 weeks, guys, and the way that the mastermind works is we meet every single week throughout those 8 weeks. Okay, so sometimes you'll actually have 2 meetings in a week, where it'll be one with me and then a shorter one with Stefan. But that the meeting with Stefan is where he's reviewing content and sharing scripting and providing samples and examples. Okay, so we can point to exact video ads that have just absolutely knocked it out of the park, and we're going to be sharing those with you, the exact scripts. Okay, so I see some questions. So the videos are appearing in the advertisement. So yes and no. Okay, so videos basically, I'm sure you guys are familiar with a pre-roll ad. A pre-roll ad is like, let's say you go over to YouTube and you click to watch a video, and before it shows your video, it might show an advertisement, like a short one, maybe 30, 40 seconds. That's a pre-roll ad. Then you also have the ads that are contained deep within the content itself. So maybe you're watching a longer video that's maybe 20, 30 minutes in length. So maybe it's 10 to 15 minutes into the video where it'll pause showing the content and show your video instead. Now, here's the beautiful, beautiful thing about why it's so cheap to advertise on YouTube. Because of the fact that if somebody does not watch a minimum of 30 seconds of your video, then you're not even charged for the view. Think about that, guys. If they don't watch a minimum, so you know what you do? You make a 40-second video. So that way, if they watch at least 30 seconds, they've already watched 80% of your video. So you front load all the good stuff in that first 30 seconds so that you've really got your message out there, so that even if they click away, you've still gotten the bulk of your message out there. So again, 30 seconds, a minimum of 30 seconds. So if somebody watches 29 seconds and then clicks to skip your ad, you're not even charged for it. How powerful is that? That's what makes it so dirt cheap to advertise on YouTube. Sean is asking, what is the suggested ad budget per month? Well, it really depends on a lot of different things. Sean, for example, how many leads do you need? How many closings do you need? Is this for a single loan officer versus a team of loan officers? What niche are you in? All those things will impact it. But on YouTube, you can get away with literally just a couple bucks a day. I mean, you could literally get away with just a couple bucks a day on YouTube. We're talking $3, $4. Dirt cheap. On Facebook, I'd recommend spending more, but on YouTube, just a couple bucks a day is going to be more than enough for 99% of you. And by that, I mean, you could probably get away with $1, $2, because remember, you're spending pennies here at this point. And let me share another huge benefit of learning how to do this, guys. Imagine sharing this with realtors. I mean, think about it. Imagine showing off some killer video content and saying, oh, by the way, I know how to make sure, because realtors really, really hate what's going on with Trulia and Zillow right now, especially now that they're doing real estate. I mean, think about it. Anytime you spend money, if you're a real estate agent and you're throwing money for leads, even at realtor.com, but even more importantly at Trulia, Zillow, it's almost a slap in the face, because they take your money and they turn around and then try to sell your prospects on using them for real estate services in many areas now. So they've been rolling that out. But on top of that, they're basically taking your listings, your data from you, leveraging them to capture leads, and then selling the leads back to you using your own resources, your listings. That's why so many realtors just hate them so much. So imagine showing them how to stick it to them. Say, you know what? I bet you guys really, really hate Zillow, Trulia, even Realtor.com. You want me to show you how we can just absolutely stick it to them? Now you show off your ability to show up and target individuals who just left those websites. And with your killer pattern disrupt video ads, you're capturing and pulling these people right back into their pipeline without having to spend the huge amount of money that Trulia, Zillow, and Realtor.com demands. And most of them demand a contract on top of that, a 6-month to 12-month contract. They want to lock you in. This is so much better. So you can show off and get what realtor is going to say, nope, I don't want to know how to do that. No, I don't want to work with a loan officer that knows how to do that. Because what if you make them say, hey, you know what? I'm going to run these ads. I'm going to be recommending you. I'm going to make you my go-to realtor for any leads that come in for this. Let me show you how cool it is. Now you're able to show it off. You're going to be able to get the highest performing realtors out there, because now you're not just showing up. We used to offer Facebook ads, right? And just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to show you some really cool marketing strategies. And Facebook is still great, but it's nowhere near as unique as it used to be. I mean, I started teaching Facebook back in 2011, over 8 years ago. Hardly anybody was doing it back then. Now everybody and their brothers jumped on board, and the copycats are coming out of the woodwork, and now they can copy everything you're doing. Now tell them to try to copy this, because they can't, they won't. So you truly have something unique again. That's the power of this, guys. That's the power of this. And I see some individuals asking about the cost. Okay, so the cost on this, folks, is we actually have a couple different packages available. But check this out. Now I'm gonna preliminary this with. So you're getting 2 months and 2 coaches. Now you guys know one-on-one coaching with me My cheapest program is 3,000, and it goes all the way up to over 5,000, right? But now with this mastermind, you get 2 coaches for 2 months, 1,500, and that can even be broken up, by the way, for 2 coaches, plus a marketing strategy that's going to get you access to leads like never before for pennies on the dollar. You're going to fix your messaging. So literally everything that you do, from sending emails to picking up the phone and talking to people, to making videos, to running ads, everything is going to improve because of your ability to be on point with your messaging. Because that's what it's all about, guys. The right message versus the wrong message. And that's what Stefan's capability, that's what his expertise is. That's what all these huge corporations and these startups that were just skyrocketing to the tops of the charts, that's what they paid him to do. He's very good at it. We're going to identify the right messaging for you and even share scripts. So we do have some premium packages as well, but our basic package, $1,500 to get access to everything I just mentioned here, that is the biggest bargain we have ever offered, because this is our first go round. After this 20, when we roll this out again, after these 8 weeks are done, when we roll out round 2, I guarantee you it will be for a much, much, much higher price point because we know it's worth it. But we're rolling it out as our first introductory at such a low price point because we're looking for testimonials. We want individuals going through this, coming out the other side going, that was freaking awesome. The results I'm getting are better than any I've seen before. And I'm confident that's exactly what we're going to get. 2 coaches, guys. One focused on the technical aspect, one focused on the video aspect. So I'm going to help you get your ad campaigns built, and he's going to help you with your messaging and the videos themselves. Does that make sense? But again, you can't just click a button and buy this right now. So I just want to remind you guys, these buttons, when you go to levelupacademy.co, you're not going there to buy, you're going there to fill out an application. So again, click the orange button, fill out the request form. We will chat one-on-one and see if it's a good fit. We typically say no more often than we say yes. And that's because we have no trouble filling. We know the amount of people that want in on programs like this. But we can't just accept anybody because we're here to guarantee results. And I can only do that if I'm working with folks that are ready to take action and follow the directions. You know, even if it's not a good fit, guys, it's not going to be a waste of time for you because we do make recommendations. So I might be able to point you in the right direction to another program out there or something that will help you out. As you know, I ask a lot of questions on these strategy sessions. So I'm going to be making some recommendations to you based on that. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Good deal. I'm taking a look here because some of these questions, it looks like are almost being double displayed. Okay, so all right, so I do not have active. Okay, absolutely, Bree, absolutely. Okay, so Steve, yeah. I mean, it's limited to just an individual. The reason being is because of, you know, it does come with some one-on-one interaction as well, right? So yeah, that's the reason for why it's limited to an individual as opposed to a whole team coming in there. Yeah, because at that point we would just end up with a lot of individuals just saying, hey, yeah, let's throw 10 loan officers in here, you know, but only pay one, you know, whereas everybody else is paying, you know, on a per individual basis. So you know, we got limited resources here and limited time to make your message that much better. Okay, so. All right, and I'm going to circle back and demonstrate some more tools for you guys here in just a bit, but I just want to make sure that I get all the questions answered here. So is there anybody here that's maybe has some questions, additional questions on the program, or if you're sitting on the fence, just let me know in the chat box. If you feel like, you know, I'm thinking about it, but still, you know, not yet 100%, you go ahead and let me know. Let me know in the chat box. I'm more than happy to answer any additional questions or clear things up for you. because this is definitely something that we know is sorely needed in the industry. If you need leads and if you need higher conversion rates and you need to be able to do more with what you already have, but also have the capability to add more, that's what this is all designed to do for absolutely dirt cheap for what you're getting. Okay. Because just this video strategy alone, guys, is just so incredibly powerful. So incredibly powerful. I can't wait to see the results you're getting when you're actually running this. Okay, absolutely. Okay, and I see some questions on the timing. Yeah, as far as the time of day that we run the live sessions, generally I try to do most of my programs at 1 o'clock Central, but I tend to ask participants in advance, and sometimes we'll take a vote and say, hey, if 1 o'clock's not working for the majority of you, we might take a vote as to a certain time slot. But typically 1 o'clock Central is where we get the most individuals that are able to attend. Okay, so that's what time. Okay, good deal, good deal. Yeah, and that link again, I put into the chat box. So just look to the top right, your GoToWebinar chat box. That's the clickable link, levelupacademy.co. I just popped it in there again one more time. And again, that will bring you to this page here. And nowhere to buy. All you're doing at this point is scheduling the one-on-one. And that's the link right up here. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, looks like I'm getting all sorts of email notices here as well. So looks like we got a lot of appointments being scheduled here. So yeah, Sean. So Sean, yeah, you're using Premiere Pro. I'm assuming that's Mac, isn't it? Is that not? You're using that on a Mac? Okay, yeah, it has a huge learning curve. That's what I like about Camtasia and Mojave is they're pretty darn easy. But I'll show you guys some even easier tools to use that are completely free here in just a moment. Because I know Premiere is not easy to learn. As a video editing software, it's powerful. You can do some really cool stuff with it, but it is not easy to use. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and pop over there real quick. Give me just a moment, folks. Opening up a tab here. I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to share some really cool tools with you that will help you out here. So the useloom.com was the first one that we talked about. But let's also take a look at okay, so yeah, this one right here is a Camtasia Studio I mentioned earlier. The advantage is it's a very easy to use software in comparison to something like Premiere. But it is $2.99 if I'm not mistaken. But it's quite powerful. As an alternative, here's the cheap Mojave.com. And I believe I had bought this a couple years back. It's been around for a while. And I believe I paid like $39.99 for it. I don't know what it is now, but I know they also have a free edition. Now, the drawback to the free edition, like if you scroll down here where it says download for free, the drawback is that I believe they put a watermark on your videos, advertising Mojave.com. And the only way to get rid of it is to upgrade to the paid edition. But the paid edition is, just a one-time and you own it. So to me, it's very worth it if you're new to video editing. It's fairly simple. It's not as user friendly in some of its features. Other features are super simple. Others, kind of you got to do a little looking around first to really get it. But overall, it's a good solid software for how dirt cheap it is. Okay. Here's another software that's an app. So it's called videoshop.net. So what this does, it allows you to trim your videos. You can integrate music and songs to the background. You got sound effects. You can add subtitles, so you can add text to the videos, slow motion, trimming. You can combine large files, and you got some sharing capabilities in there. And it's a free app, guys. So videoshop.net. Here's something called Raw Shorts. So it's rawshorts.com. So this will actually convert text into animated videos. So this is good for explainer videos. But on top of that, you also have some built-in stock videos up here and some video templates that you can access. So yeah, I mean, it's not something that I own, but I have used it in the past, some other accounts. So they do have a free edition, and you get five video exports per month. Okay, on the free edition, but again, you're going to get a lower resolution, and you're only going to get to use non-premium video content and template content. So, but again, for something that's free, it might be a good way to kind of get your feet wet by utilizing something first and get comfortable with it, and then move on from there. Here's Biteable.com. So again, this is a video creation software. So this one has the built-in templates as well. And I know that they have a free edition too. I'm not sure as to the limitations because I've only used the paid edition. So $23 a month for free. But look, you get 5 video projects per month for the free edition. Publishes straight to YouTube and Facebook, and you get 1 gig of storage. You don't need a whole lot of storage since your videos are going to be short, super short, right? So you could probably get away with the free edition for a while here as well. And that's biteable.com. Link is right up here at the top. Okay. Now let's go to Animaker. For those of you that don't want to appear in your videos, if you want to make just an animated, this is Animaker. Now I will tell you there is learning curve here too. Okay. So there is learning curve. But for those of you that perhaps have dove into projects like this before, or if you have somebody that you could just turn over to this, a marketing manager or assistant, they could turn over to this. You got all the built-in animation elements and everything in there. So it is learning curve, and it does take a while to build something like this. But when it's done, you got something pretty darn cool because you have an animated selling tool. So it's animaker.com. So yeah, that's something that I would probably turn over to someone else because it's going to be very time intensive in the beginning. Okay. All right. So lots of really cool tools out there for you folks. I hope you found those beneficial. If there's any other questions that you have for me in the meantime, go ahead and pop those into the chat box here. But my hope is that you've already scheduled your free interview at levelupacademy.co. So it's not .com, it's .co. That's not broken. That's just that's the URL we're using. Okay. So super stoked to work with you, to chat with you, uncover some of your marketing challenges and see what direction to point you in. But ultimately, guys, again, my goal and Stefan's goal here is to get you loaded up with the best possible video content and advertising campaigns with incredible targeting parameters so that you can deploy your campaigns to some very, very hot prospects. Okay, so let's get that put together for you. But first, we got to chat. So levelupacademy.co, click the orange button, request your free interview. Let's chat and see if it's a good fit and go from there. So I thank you once again, and I look forward to chatting with you folks soon. Make it a great rest of your day. Bye now.